Hey guys, hope you're all doing just fantastic today. Coming at you with a quick little voiceover of this workout as an upper body pull focus session from a few weeks ago. So the first movement was a neutral grip lat pull down, and the benefits of having this kind of a grip as opposed to the fixed bar is that my wrists have a lot more freedom. What that's going to do is going to allow me to focus on what my scapula, what my elbows and what my shoulders are doing as opposed to my wrists. As well as that, if you take into consideration the mechanics of this actual movement, we find that we have a way of training the lats in a highly mechanically advantageous position, whilst also having a really good resistance profile. In other words, we're able to ensure that the lats are generating a lot more mechanical tension, thus giving us room to grow. From there, I went into a 2-rope face pull. Now, the reason I'm using 2 ropes is pretty simple. So basically, any kind of rowing movement, once the angle at the elbow comes less than 90 degrees, we're going to have a lot more bicep involvement than the musculature of the back we're trying to work. By using 2 ropes, I have a longer kind of rope to pull on, basically, so I can pull it apart a lot more. Meaning I can create a larger angle at my elbow, so I'm placing a lot more load onto my rear delts here as opposed to my biceps. Also, I'm keeping my shoulders squeezed back the whole time so that none of my scapular tracting muscles like my rhomboids are playing any major role. It's purely my rear delts. Then we come on to my first pressing movement, which is an incline Smith machine press with a red band. Now, the band allows me to create a much more even resistance profile. If you want to think about it without the band, at the top position my joints are stacked and there's not much tension on my pecs. At the bottom, my pecs, my delts, my triceps are a little more stretched and my joints are not stacked. So the top position is quite easy and the bottom's quite hard. Add the band, so as it stretches the bottom, it gains a lot more tension. So the bottom becomes easy and the top becomes easy. Add weight onto the side, the top becomes hard and the bottom becomes hard. It's a really even resistance profile throughout the whole movement. Next up, I've got a cable low row, and one thing you'll see me doing is my back is pretty upright. I'm not really leaning back too much, I'm staying really upright. And what that allows me to do is bring the muscles like my lower traps, my rhomboids and my lats into a really squeezed position, which is kind of the goal of this movement. You see a lot of people, when they do this kind of a movement, they tilt back from the hips a lot. It puts them in a stronger position so they can handle more load, but they're not really targeting the musculature of the back that they really want to. So keep your hips in a fixed position so your back is straight, squeeze your shoulder blades back and down as hard as you can, and arch from back slightly, not from the hips, and you'll feel a really, really good contraction. Last and most certainly not least is my arm superset, my pretty staple 2-rope pushdown and a cable curl. Now, the 2-rope pushdown I've covered before plenty of times on here and on my Instagram. Basically, in my workouts, I want to be as efficient as possible. So whatever I can do to allow myself to be as efficient as possible, I'm going to incorporate as much as I can. So here I'm using 2 ropes, and at the bottom with 1 rope, you'll find that because your body physically is in the way and the rope is too short, you're not getting into as much of a squeezed position as you can with 2 ropes. So with 2 ropes, I can keep my shoulders squeezed back as well as fully extending my arms. So I'm getting to a really squeezed position and really challenging my triceps throughout the whole movement. Bicep training is pretty simple. Keep your elbows locked in place, don't let your shoulders move out of that squeezed position, and as a general rule of thumb, your upper arm shouldn't move, okay? Your bicep controls moving from the elbow joint, and that's all that should be happening. Once that's all that's happening, you'll see some major improvement in your bicep development. If you've made it this far and have any questions on anything I've covered in the video, let me know. DM me on Instagram at coachedbydan or send me an email, danreespersonaltraining@gmail.com. Again guys, thanks so much for watching. I'll see you later.